start with the moderator like usual. Okay, so then for mic check, if you want to start, say your name and spell it, please.
I'm Donna Cobb, Donnacobb.
Next, same thing.
I'm Angela Taylor, Angela Taylor.
And I'm Martin Miller, Martinmiller.
Check, I think we're all ready to go. Okay. 3.
Hello, thank you for tuning in to the 2026 Primary Election Candidate Forum for Legislative District Number 2. This forum is presented by the League of Women Voters of Thurston County in collaboration with Thurston Community Media. The League of Women Voters is proud to be nonpartisan, neither supporting nor opposing candidates or political parties at any level of government, but always working on vital issues of concern to members and the public to defend our democracy and empower voters. I am Donna Cobb with the League, and I will be moderating this forum. Ashley Brooks is our timer. At this time, please silence all personal devices. We are filming live, so any disruption will be caught on audio. We also ask the audience to hold their applause until the end of the program, and you are not permitted to speak during the program. The Washington State Legislature is the state's lawmaking body where elected senators and representatives come together to create and pass laws that shape the daily lives of Washingtonians. The House consists of 98 elected officials who serve 2-year terms. Every legislative district in Washington State has 2 representatives who live in and represent the district. Voters elect the 98 representatives in even-numbered years. Representatives serve on several committees that meet frequently during the legislative session to discuss proposed laws and hear input from the public. There are 2 candidates participating in this forum, Martin L. Miller and Angela Taylor. Matt Marshall was unable to attend in person, but he had indicated he would submit a video, but we did not receive a copy of that video. We stress the importance of civility. I'm sorry, sir, the prompter's not moving. Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to start with there are 2 candidates participating in this forum, Martin L. Miller and Angela Taylor. Matt Marshall was unable to attend in person and indicated he would submit a video statement. However, we never received a statement from him. We stress the importance of civility in our forums. Candidates, the ground rules for this forum were given to you, and by participating today, you have agreed to abide by them. Questions are asked by last name in reverse alphabetical order. Beginning with Angela Taylor, the first question is, what personal and professional experiences would you bring to the legislature?
Thank you. I am not a professional politician. I am a stay-at-home working mom of 5, and I bring just personal on-hand knowledge of my community and the roles that I play in that community. I have been working, volunteering for over 20 years with various organizations, including the Salvation Army, the Lions Club, various school boosters, and working to get the levies passed in the Yelm School District and various other organizations throughout my life. And so I just bring that hands-on knowledge of the LD2 and knowing what my constituents need and what they're wanting to see as from their representatives.
Thank you. Martin Miller?
Well, I've lived a lifetime in the district. My mother ran for this seat 54 years ago, actually. And so it's in my blood. I was a planning commissioner for Eatonville for 6 years. On top of that, I helped develop Smallwood Park back in the 80s, hands-on. Bud Blanchard Trail was my concept, and I donated quite a bit of my land to make that happen. And for 42 years, I've served the citizens of the 2nd District, both at OHOP Mutual Power and Light and Tacoma Power, the Loveland Service Center, and now I'm working for Puget Power. So my whole life has been keeping the lights on. And so I bring that to the table. I know the area real well. I'm very familiar with it, and that's it.
Thank you. So beginning with Martin Miller, the next question is from David Treeweiler on behalf of the End Mass Incarceration Project, Washington Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. According to the National Institute for Justice, increasing the severity of the punishment does not deter crime. Long prison sentences cost a substantial amount of taxpayer dollars. What are you doing or planning to do to lower Washington's historically high incarceration rates?
Well, the incarceration rate is high, but it's also very lax. I would like to see this drug problem that we have with some enforcement followed by treatment, or at least give them the option of treatment, just to kind of clean up the mess that we've got. So while I'm not for permanently locking people up and putting them away, the public needs to be protected. Some of these people, there is evil in the world, and I don't want to see the vulnerable get killed or assaulted or robbed or any of that. So I'm not against punishing people for committing crime.
Thank you. Angela, would you like me to repeat that question?
Yes, please.
According to the National Institute for Justice, increasing the severity of the punishment does not deter crime. Long prison sentences cost a substantial amount of taxpayer dollars. What are you doing or planning to do to lower Washington's historically high incarceration rates?
Thank you for repeating that. First off, I agree with what they're saying. I, as a domestic violence survivor, and also with working with Salvation Army, I have been able to work with people who are have been subjected to the abuse of drugs and alcohol, and I do believe that there is retribution for almost everyone, and I believe that what we need to do is, instead of just locking people up and throwing away the key, I think that it does a better service to them and to our communities, because just because someone makes a mistake doesn't mean that they can't be valuable to their community later on. I have had pastors who have actually been incarcerated before, and they have turned out to serve their communities greatly. So I believe in making pathways while they're incarcerated so that they have a way out. Thank you.
Okay, so the next question is for you, Angela. An initiative that supporters say will strengthen the rights of parents will be on the ballot in November. If the initiative passes, how would you ensure vulnerable students have access to support that they may not be getting at home?
That's a tough one for me because as I stated, I am a mother of 5. I have 3 children, including 2 girls that are in the public school system right now, and I worry about this initiative. and I worry that they will receive the protections that they deserve if this initiative passes. I want to be clear, this initiative is not about parents' rights, and it is not about serving any of our students or keeping our girls safe from boys. It actually puts all of our girls in danger and all of our students in danger from abuses that could happen to them if this initiative is passed. And so I'm staunchly against these initiatives, and if they are passed, I will be working to get the initiatives reversed, and I will be standing up for our girls and all of our students in the public school system.
Thank you. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Okay. An initiative that supporters say will strengthen the rights of parents will be on the ballot in November. If the initiative passes, how would you ensure that vulnerable students have access to support that they may not be getting at home?
I support that initiative, and I believe parents' rights should be stronger than the government's rights to influence those children. Once the kids become adults, it's up to them. But in the meantime, I try to treat everybody with respect, and I know people that have gone one way or the other, and I treat them the same as I treat everybody else. But that would not be my big issue. I would support parents' rights, and I support women's rights in sports, not to have to compete against men.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the next question goes to you again, Martin Miller. Regarding data centers, should the state establish zoning restrictions, energy use requirements, water use limits, or community benefit agreements for data centers? Please explain your position and how you would advocate for implementation as a legislator.
That's the business that I'm in, is I'm in the power business. And so this is huge for us. The data centers, I'm really quite undecided, because it's good work for union labor, for one thing, but it's going to create a lot of demand for electricity that we don't have. And how much snooping do the big information companies need to do on us? They follow us around everywhere. They listen to every word we say. I mean, what really is this going to benefit? Are they going to keep our junk emails for the next 200 years? Or, why have all this? And I believe it's going to drive up the price of electricity. I think that if they are going to do a data center, they need to have their own source of electricity, whether it's an X reactor or whatever it is. And the water is another big issue too. We have limited supply generally, so.
Okay, thank you. Angela, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I actually, this is one of the areas that I actually agree with you, Martin. I worry about the effects that the data centers are going to have on our natural surroundings and our ecosystem, and I definitely see the benefit as a union supporter and as a grandchild of union workers. I see the benefit of the data centers. However, I worry that the damage that it's going to do to our ecosystem outweighs the benefit. It's a short-term benefit for our unions building. Once it's built, it is built, but how many years is it going to have an impact on our natural resources? And are there better ways, if we were able to do more research, are there better ways that we could go about this? And then exactly, I don't feel that everything is 100% honest with us, and I would want to do some more digging into exactly what the data centers are for and what their planned uses are.
Thank you. And now the fifth question will go to you. In 2024, the state legislature passed House Bill 1232, which allows the State Department of Health to inspect private detention facilities in Washington. The only private facility that has refused inspections is an immigration detention center run by GEO Group. Do you agree that the State Department of Health should be able to inspect private detention facilities? If so, what should be the consequences if they are not allowed to inspect? If you do not agree, why not?
As the mother-in-law and new grandmother of immigrant citizens in the United States, I am strongly opposed to detention centers. I do believe that all of them need to be inspected, and if any of them refuse to be inspected, then they should be subject to the full consequences of their refusal to do so. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that. If they can't live up to the law that everyone else has to live up to, then they should be shut down immediately.
Thank you. Okay, Martin?
Yeah, I'm sure this is going through the courts. It's the legislature tends to pass a lot of bills that are in conflict with federal law, but I don't see the problem with the inspection of the detention center. I mean, what could be the problem there? So I guess I support the inspection, but I'm also, time will tell. This will get settled in the courts, and that'll be the law. And it may be challenged one way or the other for years or whatever, but I don't see as this being a problem for the legislature to intervene at this point. It's the deal's in the works, and we'll see where it plays out.
Thank you. Okay, Martin Miller, the final question is for you. Do you support diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in state government?
I do. And, I worked for the city of Tacoma. I was a power lineman, and they wanted, that was a big deal for them. And so I trained a lot of apprentices, and if they sent me a woman, in fact, my career was dashed upon the rocks, me defending a gay Native American woman who wanted to be a lineman, who I thought was adequate, but they, for reasons I'm not going to get into right now, wanted to get rid of her. And so I went and I testified and got her back in the program, and she's currently a supervisor for Patelco. So she used to work for me, now I'm working for her, type of deal. And so, yeah, I do. In fact, in my voters pamphlet statement, I declare that I do support diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Thank you. Angela?
Yes, I, as a member of a family that is very diverse, I absolutely support DEI programs. With that being said, I also support making sure that programs don't interfere with everyone getting their full rights and being able to do whatever it is that they are wanting to do. And I just feel that, I do support DEI programs, and I will stand behind those, but still working to improve. Everything needs improvement across the board, and I will be looking for ways that I can strengthen those programs and improve them.
Thank you. Okay. Angela Taylor, you now have 1 minute for a closing statement.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come here. And, as I stated, I'm not a professional politician. I'm not polished in any way, but I do ask for your vote as a fellow member of Legislative District 2 and just wanting to do my part. I have spent years fighting for our children in the district and fighting for our senior citizens, and my platform of where I want to do the most work is providing a fully funded, equitable education for our children and providing services for our seniors and making sure that our working families have everything that they need in order to succeed in our district. And I just ask you for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Martin Miller?
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And whether I'm elected or not, I will continue to serve the people of the 2nd District. And I am an anti-tax guy. I feel like in Washington, we are taxed to death. And something has to give. I believe there is fraud, corruption, and pocket lining going on in every branch of state government. Nobody is, for 5 years I've been asking, what's one department that is not corrupt? And nobody to this date has been able to answer that question. And so I would like to see that get straightened out, whether I'm a representative or not. I'm on this issue. And as far as providing services, the roads are a mess. They borrowed funds from Thurston County road system, $50 million gone, potholes everywhere, shoulders, and I'd like to see that improved. No signs on poles, no graffiti on the right of way. Clean it up.
Thank you. And thank you, Angela Taylor and Martin Miller, for participating in the candidate forum. We thank our partner, TC Media, for producing and airing it, and we are indebted to TC Media for years of making these forums happen and educating voters. TC Media is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making media production accessible to all. They are committed to providing our community with access to professional media production, education, and content creation resources. Your support helps provide studio space, equipment, and education for creators in our community. To donate to TC Media's work or to become a member, visit www.tcmedia.org. The League of Women Voters of Thurston County is a nonprofit, nonpartisan civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. To learn more about our work, support us with a donation, or become a member, please visit our website at www.lwvthurston.org. We encourage viewers to be a voter in the upcoming election on August 4th. Every vote counts. Ballots for military personnel were mailed on June 18th, and all other ballots will be mailed on July 15th. Also, you may register to vote up to the day of election. Thank you for watching this 2026 Primary Candidate Forum. Thank you.
wait signal until they're ready in the back, and then once I bring my hand down, you're free to get up, talk, stuff like that. One thing from our previous panel for you with your glasses, it might look a little bit better if you have them a little lower on your nose. If you want to start, just give us your name and spell it, please.
My name and what?
Spell it.
I still didn't understand
Spell
what.
your name.
My name is Tawny Crawford.
Yep, and then spell it.
Oh, spell it. Is that what I'm sorry. TAWNEYCRAWFORD.
Nick Dunning, NICDUNNING.
Michelle Gibson, MICHELLEGIPSON.
And Emily Klaus, EMILYCLOUSE.
Five, four.
Hello, thank you for tuning into the 2026 Primary Election Candidate Forum for Thurston County Commission, District Number 5. This forum is presented by the League of Women Voters of Thurston County in collaboration with Thurston Community Media. The League of Women Voters is proud to be nonpartisan, neither supporting nor opposing candidates or political parties at any level of government, but always working on vital issues of concern to members and the public to defend our democracy and empower voters. I am Tawny Crawford with the League, and I will be moderating this forum. Valerie Needham Heisman is our timer. At this time, please silence all personal devices. We are filming live, so any disruption will be caught on audio. We also ask the audience to hold their applause until the end of the program, and you are not permitted to speak during the program. Thurston County's Board of County Commissioners is the county's legislative authority. The 5 commissioners are elected to 4-year terms and serve as the chief administrators for several important county operations, including oversight of the county's budget. There are 3 candidates participating in this forum: Nicholas Martinez Dunning, Michelle Gibson, and Emily Klaus. We stress the importance of civility in our forums. Candidates, you have each received the ground rules for the forum and have agreed to abide by them. Questions are asked by last name in reverse alphabetical order. Okay. Beginning with Nicholas, the first question is, what personal and professional experiences are you bringing to the Thurston County Board of Commissioners?
First of all, thank you for hosting us, and thank you for the other candidates for being here. My name is Nicholas Dunning, and there are several reasons why I believe I'm the most qualified candidate for this position. I'm a Marine Corps combat veteran. I volunteered for both the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. I got a degree from the University of Washington in politics, economics, and environmental studies, so all the issues directly relating to the county are things that I have a background in. I currently am a small business owner. My business is won the South Sound Business of the Year, and more importantly, the South Sound Best Place to Work for all businesses. I care deeply about my employees. And lastly, I represent the Lacey City Council for the past 3 years on several important boards and committees, and I have direct connections with the city, the staff, and will be able to be the link between the Lacey, which is what this position, District 5, is for, and the county. Thank you.
Michelle.
Thanks, Donnie, for the question. Thank you for the League of Women Voters for having us today. What I bring is lived experience. I'll talk about my dimensions as a woman, as an immigrant, as a wife, a grandmother, a mother, a community leader, and an advocate. I will talk about the shared experiences that I have with the people that are struggling in our community today. My professional experience includes my education in my master's in computer information systems, my bachelor's in business management and accounting. I'm an educator, vocational educator, North Thurston School Board director, community service of 20 plus years volunteering and serving on multiple boards in my nonprofit role. Thank you.
Emily.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'm Emily Klaus, current Thurston County Commissioner, and 3 years ago I sat at this same forum as a U.S. Army veteran, nonprofit leader, small family business operator, and union member, and I told you I would fight for the people of Thurston County, not to appease corporate interests or maintain the status quo. I meant that, and I've spent every day since proving it. I've delivered over $50 million to affordable housing, launched a program cutting energy costs for working families, and secured funding to restore the Deschutes estuary because protecting the environment and keeping this county affordable are the same fight. When a budget was brought before us that I believed would gut services to our most vulnerable residents, I voted no. I was outvoted, but the community has thanked me for hearing their needs, and I look forward to diligently working with other electeds to change the path and forge a new path forward. I'm running because this county deserves a commissioner with the experience, the foresight, and the backbone to stand alone when necessary. That's the kind of commissioner I've been and will continue to be on climate, housing, and fiscal transparency, and I'll be that for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Okay, beginning with Michelle, the next question is, the Timberland Regional Library is in fiscal freefall from mismanagement. Since the commission appoints 2 trustees to represent Thurston County, what role do you see the commission playing in trying to help with current issues in the library system?
Thank you for the question. I think it's important that we recognize that obviously there wasn't sufficient oversight. Yes, we do have 2 representatives. We have a large district, perhaps increasing that number. I do believe that what we've learned is that there should be a more frequent audits to understand what is happening in the budget so that there aren't surprises that appear a few years down the road when we have to make hard decisions. We are where we are. It is important for us to look forward to doing a better job of oversight for the library systems.
Okay, Emily.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. The Timberland Regional Library is in fiscal freefall from mismanagement. Since the commission appoints 2 trustees to represent Thurston County, what role do you see the commission playing to help fix the current issues in the library system?
Thank you so much. This is a very important question, and I'm really glad it's the first question. I've been very engaged with the Timberland Regional Library Patron Coalition. I've attended multiple TRL meetings this year. I've urged our current trustee to continue being strong on the board when it comes to issues around equity. The most recent TRL meeting was very strong, heartwarming presence of people fighting for LGBTQ people. The reason why I bring that up is because another commissioner from Lewis County, Brian Mitke, has recently published this list of desired outcomes that includes removing LGBTQ literature from the children's section, making the library beige, not rainbow. And this is a fight that we're responsible for being a strong voice on, which is why I brought forward a letter that was signed unanimously by all 5 commissioners, urging the TRL board to conduct an audit of their budget situation and also to call for explicitly denouncing the list of desired outcomes that was authored by the Brian Mitke. So this is something we should be very strong on. Thank you.
Nicholas?
Yes, I really appreciate this question because I think it really goes over more of a symptom of the system in general, and with so many governmental organizations that we're dealing with right now, including the county, and that's a lack of long-term planning and difficult discussions over a long period of time. The library and libraries in general are a very sensitive subject for people. It's something that's difficult to talk about, and any potential cuts that face an organization like that are going to have a lot of emotional ties. And it's really important that we put people in place who can not only understand those needs, but also have really difficult and hard conversations in order to make the best decision, even if it's a short-term difficult one, to make sure that we can have these organizations survive long-term. And so we really need to start focusing not only at the county, but the library and many other organizations on long-term planning that has a pathway for success.
Okay. Emily, you'll answer this next question first. And it is the Washington State Commission, the Washington State Constitution gives an option for a charter approach to governance, commonly called home rule, where local voters could make adjustments to county governance through this is a new question for me, through voter initiatives. Do you support home rule?
Yes, thank you for this question. I do support a home rule charter because it's a tool for residents to put things on the ballot and design what Thurston County government actually looks like. What a charter can do is reorganize governance structure, convert elected positions to appointed positions, excluding the prosecutor's office and the judges. It can expand the Board of County Commissioners to any size. It can make elections partisan or nonpartisan. We can do ranked choice voting. We can add citizen initiative and referendum rights and create formal law enforcement oversight and ethics policies. We can also adopt term limits for elected officials. What it can't do is abolish the safety ecosystem or any one department like police. We can't grant counties power that the state hasn't authorized, and we can't override state or federal law. We also cannot create more taxing authority or be imposed on cities or other governments. So this is not something that's this scary new overhaul where we're going to create new taxing structures. It's something where we would elect a board of freeholders between 50 and 25 people and create a living document that is reviewed every 5 to 10 years. I think it could be a very interesting thing to explore.
Okay, Nicholas?
Yeah, and I'll just be honest. It really depends on who's pushing it and what their incentives are. And I think we should really be honest about what this specific charter pushes for, and that is to get rid of elected positions, specifically the sheriff. I attended several of the charter meetings, and some of the misstatements and misinformation were very shocking for me. And there is this big push in Thurston County to get rid of elected positions. I love democracy, and I think voting is the #1 way you show your community what's important to you. And when we're talking about a charter, especially what is being pushed right now, not that charters can't be a good thing, but I think what we're trying to do, or what people are trying to accomplish currently with this charter process, is get rid of elected officials. And I think that is the absolute worst way of proceeding forward with democracy.
Michelle?
Thank you. There are obviously pros and cons to this initiative. I believe that means that there are lots of questions that need to be answered. It needs to be clear to our constituents what it is that we're actually trying to change and how we make things better or how we improve our processes. So it is my opinion that that should be the first thing, is to make sure all our constituents are clear about what it is we're trying to do, and then bring that to them for a vote, because this is a very large, it's a big change. I don't think that's where I'll stop.
Okay, Nicholas, you'll answer this question first. In your opinion, what are the most important factors to consider while balancing the need for further economic development in Thurston County and the environmental concerns that development often clash with?
Well, this would be an easy answer question for me, because not only am I a small business owner, but I would be the only small business owner on the county commission, and I actually have a degree in environmental studies. And one of the things I think that is most difficult is sometimes we create policy that intentionally puts roadblocks on development strictly because we don't want that development in the first place. But we have to take a look at what's going on in Thurston County, and we have to be able to realize that we have a massive budget deficit. Municipalities are hurting, and we have to be able to grow. And there are ways to do that smartly with the environment. And I think my background in environmental studies will be able to actually look at the policies that are being put forward and evaluate those on their merit versus on emotion, which is sometimes, like I said, often a key category when we're making decisions. And so we really, really need to focus on growing Thurston County in a smart way that helps us all.
Okay. Michelle.
Thank you. I agree that growth is important, and also the need to make sure that as we grow, we are looking at what our future looks like for our kids. So protecting our environment, they both go hand in hand. I also agree that removing some of the obstacles or barriers for how people become business owners, or what are the things that are slowing down the process. So I had a thought, and sorry. I think one of the things that comes to mind is the concept of economic and environmental justice. Like, who are the people that are least represented in these categories? And those are the things I'm a party of one on a commission, to be able to collaborate with our commissioners and our partners in the community to make sure that we can move this forward, I think is critical.
Emily.
Thank you. So the need to balance economic development with, what was it? Can you repeat the question, actually?
Sure. In your opinion, what are the most important factors to consider while balancing the need for further economic development in Thurston County and the environmental concerns that development often clashes with?
Okay, thank you so much. So this is the thing, is a lot of people think that climate interests are clashing with economic development or housing, and they're really not. They're all this part of the same fight. We just need to look at how we're prioritizing different things. So we need to accept the fact that Thurston County is growing. We're set to be at over 400,000 people for population by 2045, and our Thurston 2045 plan, which is also our comprehensive plan, accounts for how we need to grow. We need to be focused on dense urban development, so focused on how we're going to grow in our UGAs. We also need to really focus on emissions, because our emissions goals are not being met, and a lot of them are surrounded around buildings and energy and transportation. So we need to be looking to improve energy efficiency in our existing buildings and keep those factors in mind when we're developing in new areas as well.
Okay, thank you. Starting with Michelle. The next question is, as communities experience an expanding decline in news providers, do you see any ways Thurston County could help ensure people have access to responsible local news? Please explain.
Interesting question. Thank you for that. I believe we have resources, so finding ways to support those who are delivering unbiased news. I won't make a plug, but I'm sure we know of a few that are mostly they're online, and they reach out. They are nonprofit. They do the things that they need to do to bring awareness to what's happening in our community. We live in a tech world, and so we have to be concerned about balancing what is valid information with what is not, as everyone jumps online to get their news. But there are, for example, we have this opportunity today to sit in this forum and hear from our candidates from all, as an example of how we educate the community on what is happening and who's serving, for example.
Okay, Michelle.
Could you repeat the question, please?
As communities experience an expanding decline in news providers, do you see any ways Thurston County could help to ensure people have access to responsible local news? Please explain.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad that you actually asked this question because the decline in responsible and accurate news is real. The Olympian was acquired by a larger corporate company and is no longer completely focused on local news. So the leverage of social media is really important, and Thurston County's done a really good job of pushing out communications about the positive work that we're doing. Our new communications director has done an excellent job of publishing news releases immediately, but as county commissioners, our responsibility is to make sure that that information is accurate and transparent. So we can leverage our own social media and our own platforms to push out local information that's really highlighting the visibility of the successes we've had as Thurston County. And it's really important to not only communicate about the unified approaches we take, but also about the differences that we have at Thurston County, so that the community can be informed and they can show up and share their voice with us because they have accurate information. So that's definitely on us to make sure we're pushing that out in a positive way to the public.
Nicholas.
Yeah, it's a real chicken and the egg situation where we're kind of beholden to these new algorithms that are pushing content that we want, but then we also want this other content. So is it the algorithms, or is it our own nature that's pushing us to content that really isn't local or isn't positive? And that's a very difficult situation. There has been a large consolidation of local media across the nation. It's not just something that's affecting us. But when it comes down to it, we have a choice. We have a choice as people to get our news from specific places and who to support. And we also have that as cities and municipalities of who we use as our paper of record. It's a discussion we've had in Lacey very recently. And with social media, so much is easy to spread that is either just wrong or false, and people run with it. Recently, there was some stuff about the FIFA fan zone that I felt was completely false, and I took it upon myself to make a response video to that, and I think it's on us to do that as well.
Okay, I think we have one final question, and we're going to start with Emily. And the question is, I better read it. Would you support new data center development in our county? If so, what criteria would you use regarding where these facilities should be sited? How would you ensure that the community receives long-term economic benefits from these centers?
Thank you. I support a permanent moratorium on data centers in Thurston County. These centers are drawing so many natural resources. It's actually really infuriating to see how they're impacting communities across the country. People are losing access to clean water because these data centers are sucking up so many of our natural resources. They're not sustainable. And as the AI industry continues to grow, this is going to be a threat that does come to Thurston County, and we need to be prepared. Recently, the county adopted a temporary moratorium on immigration detention centers here in Thurston County, and data centers are next. We're working on this now with our prosecuting attorney's office to develop structure that will really keep Thurston County safe from data centers. And as far as opportunities for economic development, we do need some sort of industry here in Thurston County. We don't have like an industry that people can look to, but data centers is not it. We need to focus on other green, climate-friendly industries that we can build here in Thurston County and not rely on data centers.
Nicholas.
I find moratoriums very, very difficult, and I'm usually very hesitant at pushing those forward because I find that they actually do the opposite of what's intended. And what we should be looking for is more communication. We should be looking for more data, and oftentimes they're used as a little bit of a weapon to prevent discussion and prevent communication, when we really should be doing as much research as possible. Thankfully, Thurston County already has a lot of policies in place that would make it rather difficult or disincentivize data centers from coming to our area. It's a reason why most of them are in specific areas, especially eastern Washington. Currently, data centers provide 127,000 jobs in Washington state and provide $15 billion of revenue. And it's frankly something that we have to have as a society and a world. But where we put them and how we put them and what we approve is what we should be talking about. Thurston County might not be the right place for one, but that's something that we actually need to have a discussion about versus just throwing it in the closet and running away.
Okay. Michelle?
This is a difficult conversation, only because my concern is how quickly these organizations move. They're moving faster, I think, than policies can be put in place to control them or manage how they how and where. It doesn't seem like there is any good data on what data centers are doing right now, and we absolutely need to hear more before we can, say yes. It doesn't sound like a yes. What I'm concerned about is typically when these type of industries appear, they appear in places that affect those that have the least amount of voice or the least amount of power. So in communities where people have less financial resource or less representation, and that for me is a big concern.
Okay, thank you. You now have 1 minute for a closing statement, beginning with Nicholas.
Thank you again for having us here and everyone participating in this conversation. My name is Nicholas Dunning. I'm a Lacey City Council member, small business owner, and veteran of the Marine Corps and Washington National Guard. Many times in my life, people have told me I'd make a great politician, but I don't want to be known as a great politician. I want to be known as a great father, a great husband, a great community member, a great leader. I want you to believe that what I say is what I'm actually going to do. And I hope to earn your vote, and I hope for 4 years you hold me accountable on that every single day. Thank you.
Michelle?
With 1 minute, I will read. I bring the right combination of lived experience, leadership, and deep commitment to this community. I've spent more than 16 years leading nonprofit and community-centered work focused on youth, families, health, and well-being. I understand that what it takes to listen, build partnerships, manage resources responsibly, and turn ideas into real results. I currently serve on the North Thurston School Board and have years of volunteer work on boards, committees, and community initiatives, always focused on improving opportunities and quality of life for others. I'm someone who leads by bringing people together. I believe in that progress happens when we work together. I understand the challenges that Thurston County is facing: housing, public safety, infrastructure, and responsible growth. And I know these issues require thoughtful, balanced leadership. I offer that steady leadership, practical problem solving, and people-centered approach. I hope to earn your vote. Thank you.
Okay. Emily?
Thank you. Thurston County should be a place where people can afford to live and where government actually shows up for working families, not just the people who can afford to influence it. 3 years in this seat have strengthened my resolve to bring compassionate and innovative solutions to Thurston County's biggest challenges. I will continue to prioritize affordable housing, climate sustainability, and fiscal transparency and accountability. There is much work to be done, and I have the experience to keep the momentum going. I'm proud to say that I have earned the endorsement of the Thurston Lewis Mason Central Labor Council, WFC 443, the National Women's Political Caucus of Washington, and dozens of local elected officials and community leaders who know this work up close, like Commissioner Rachel Grant, Representative Sean Scott, and our county clerk, assessor, and many council members throughout Thurston County. If you believe this county deserves a commissioner who can stay accountable, fight for you, and stand alone when it matters, I'm asking for your support for 4 more years, and you can learn more at clausforcommissioner.com. Thank you.
Well, thank you to all 3 of you, and I'll repeat your names for the audience. It's Nicholas Dunning, Michelle Gibson,
Yes.
and Emily Klaus. Thank you very much. We thank our partner TC Media for producing and airing this forum. We are indebted to them for years of making these forums happen and to educate the voters. TC Media is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making media production accessible to all. They are committed to providing our community with access to professional media production. also to education and content creation resources. Your support helps provide studio space, equipment, and education for creators in our community. To donate to TC Media's work or to become a member, visit www.tcmedia.org. The League of Women Voters of Thurston County is a nonprofit, nonpartisan civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. To learn more about our work, support us with a donation, or to become a member, please visit our website at www.lwvthurston.org. We encourage our viewers to be a voter in the upcoming election on August 4th. Every vote counts. Ballots for military personnel were mailed out on June 18th, and all other ballots will be mailed out around July 15th. And you may register up to and on Election Day. Thank you for watching this 2026 Primary Candidate Forum. Thank you.
question, so I just paused. Emily was at 56 seconds when 15 seconds left. And then,
Do you want to say your name and spell it for the mic check?
My name is Ashley Brooks, ASHLEY BROOKS.
And if you want to do the same thing.
Bruce Wilkinson, BRUCEWILKINSON. Okay. Is that better?
And just go again, your name and spell it, please.
All right. My name is Bruce Wilkinson, BRUCEWILKINSON.
You do it one more time.
My name is Bruce Wilkinson, BRUCEWILKINSON.
All right, and the last one.
My name is Jim Campbell, JIMCAMPBELL.
Oh, 30 seconds. Hello, thank you for tuning into this 2026 primary election candidate forum for the Public Utility District. This forum is presented by the League of Women Voters of Thurston County in collaboration with Thurston Community Media. The League of Women Voters is proud to be nonpartisan, neither supporting nor opposing candidates or political parties at any level of government, but always working on vital issues of concern to members and the public to defend our democracy and empower voters. I am Ashley Brooks with the League, and I will be moderating this forum. We have Samantha Birch as our timer. At this time, please silence all personal devices. We are filming live, so any disruption will be caught on audio. We also ask the audience to hold their applause until the end of the program, and you are not permitted to speak during the program. From their website, the Public Utility District Number 1 of Thurston County was officially formed in 1938 by a vote of the people. They currently own and operate 272 water systems, serving approximately 10,416 families, businesses, schools, and parks. They provide water, planning, and utility services to the citizens of Thurston County, and also own and operate water systems in Pierce and Lewis counties, one water system in King County, and a few water systems in Grays Harbor County. We are thrilled that all three candidates running for Public Utility District 1 are represented in today's forum. They are Bruce Wilkinson Jr. and Jim Campbell are joining us in person, and Troy Kirby submitted a written statement that I will read at the end of the program. We stress the importance of civility in our forums. Candidates, you each received the ground rules for the forum and have agreed to abide by them with your participation today. Questions are asked by last name in reverse alphabetical order. Beginning with Bruce Wilkinson Jr., the first question is, what personal and professional experiences are you bringing to the Public Utility District?
Thank you. So I'm bringing the personal experience of having worked as a board member of many nonprofits over the years. some about the same size as the PUD, Thurston PUD. And I was a graduate of Evergreen State College. I've been in Olympia for over 20 years. And I studied political economics. I've been working as a grassroots organizer in the Thurston County area for probably most of those past 2 decades. And I'm also been very interested in PUDs in general. I think that public utility districts are a great, lucky sort of organization to have in your county, and it's a way to stand up for customers against private utility issues.
Thank you for that, Bruce. Same question to you, Jim.
Well, thank you for the question. I've been in the water industry over 22 years. Just going back a little ways farther, I worked at the Olympia Brewery. I was a union member there. I was a foreman, and I worked as hard as I could to keep the jobs local. When the brewery closed, I went into federal training into the water industry. I learned to be a water distribution manager, water treatment plant operator, an electrician, plumber, and an electrical administrator. I worked a dozen or more years in public water systems, and the company I worked for was purchased by Thurston Public Utility District. The entire crew at that company came over to the PUD. The PUD doubled in size. That was in late 2017. It's grown several thousand more connections and services, water systems since then, but I am the commissioner of.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
I will ask this next question to you, and that is, the Public Utility District is a local jurisdiction that is often overlooked by residents of Thurston County. What are things the PUD could do to help bring awareness to the important work this jurisdiction does?
That's a great question, and it means a lot to me. One of the things I'm pretty passionate about is we have a lot of struggling small public water systems, either owned by the HOA, possibly the developer that drilled a well, built a pump house, put pipe in the ground. A lot of those were done not to the modern standards, so many of them are failing. They have, some of them have water quality issues, water mains that are leaking. But we can come in, do an evaluation, no charge. We actually go out with our Vector, pothole, actually not destructively, but test the pipe, make sure it's solid. We'll camera the well. We've had at least a half a dozen of these in the last several years that have came in. Now, we do have a policy of coming in whole, we call it. We don't want the current water customers to pay for a neglected system, but we can get grants and loans and with forgiveness from the state revolving fund loan system. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Jim. And Bruce, same question to you. I'm happy to repeat it if you'd like.
Please do.
Absolutely. And that was, the Public Utility District is a local jurisdiction that is often overlooked by residents of Thurston County. What are the things PUD could do to help bring awareness to the important work this jurisdiction does?
Great. Well, I think that's a very important question. We have a whole lot of people don't vote for this position. It's probably the one position that that people choose not to vote for, because it only seems to affect 8%, about around 10,000 households, or 8% of Thurston County voters are actual customers. But I think that the PUD commissioner is something more. It's a Public Utilities Commissioner. And how I imagine the job is that I want to be an advocate for everybody regarding their utilities. And we don't do electric right now, and I think we're going to keep it that way. But it doesn't mean that I, as a Public Utilities Commissioner, representing all of Thurston County, can't go to the Utilities Commission and advocate on your behalf to lower electric rates. And that's how I envision the job.
Thank you, Bruce. Beginning again with Jim Campbell, the third question is, what are the current water system priorities of the PUD? Would you change or modify any of these priorities?
Well, I'm 8 months into an appointed term as a commissioner, so I do have a lot of ideas that haven't came to the board yet, or a little early. One thing is I do want to encourage more failing systems to come to the PUD and see if we can help them, because every family deserves clean, safe water. Another thing is emergency preparedness. I have worked on that for many years. That's installing seismic retrofits to reservoirs, pump houses. We're actually installing seismic automatic valves that are tied into the USGS system. For the Cascadia earthquake, they will shut the valves so the water doesn't leak out broken water mains. We also have on-site seismic systems that will shut it off if the Olympia fault were to trigger. Just
Thank
two of the
you,
things
Jim.
I'm working on.
Great. Same question to you.
Yeah, so I think that we have to be concerned about future water supplies in Thurston County, which is, I think, something of a shock for people. But we have expanding population. We have less glaciers to melt, and we have drier summers and torrential downpours in the winters. So it makes the water situation for the whole county turbulent, and that's going to be affecting us for the next little while. And along with that, we have to be worried about forever chemicals, and so water quality becomes an issue. So people are, this is something that is a whole county approach we all need to focus on. But I think that's the main thing is water source and water quality, and of course keeping it affordable. As everything seems to be rising in rates, we want to make sure that everyone can afford those.
Thank you, Bruce. I'll ask this next question to you. Do you think the PUD should provide electricity services? Why or why not?
Well, I wish they did, but at this moment, I think it's not a good idea. It would have been way better if we had gone into it a long, long time ago. We would be having savings today if we had, but we didn't do that. And I worked on those public power campaigns. We had one in 2012, and then I tried one in 2020. That went pretty good. We brought Dennis Kucinich down to kick it off, and we raised a lot of money. But that happened. We had this little pandemic thing that happened then, so couldn't get signatures anymore. But times have changed quite a bit. So I think that that we're going to have public electric, it's going to be something that probably comes from higher than just our little water PUD. It's got to come from like the state level. It has to come from like the demands of everyone. And I think that our utility is just fine the way it is, focused on water.
Thank you, Bruce. Same question to you, Jim.
Well, I agree with a lot of that. Water is the source of life, so it is a priority. I would agree that power would have worked out a lot better done in 1938, back when they were forming. It's pretty, the infrastructure is pretty developed now, owned by a private entity, a private local tax-paying entity. Ownership isn't local, but I don't think, possibly someday when there's new sort of energy sources, there is a shortage. I am a member of the Washington Public Utility Association. I go to the meetings. I do hear some of the power folks talking, and they have a lot of issues getting enough power. Of course, they want to do some extra electrical usage. That's going to be an issue too. But
thank you. I'll ask this question to you first. As growth and drought continue, groundwater supplies potentially decline, and competition for local uses of water increases. What should PUD's preferred strategies for addressing these challenges be?
I think number one is conservation, using technology. There's smart technologies, there's smart irrigation systems. I am a well pump electrician and plumber, so I've probably pulled every well pump in the PUD's inventory over 22 years. I've seen where the pumps fail because the water level has dropped. There's a point where you can keep lowering them, but you're just putting the straw a little deeper into an empty cup. So I have done a lot of irrigation outreach with people. There are people that built homes with multi-acres of grass. Pretty hard to explain to them, why they can't water as much as they want, because the old private owner, he didn't care, and as long as he could pump it, he'd sell it. So, well, we're a little more of a environmental angle on that. So,
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same question to you.
Yeah, well, I agree with pretty much everything he just said. There are a lot of appropriate technologies that could be used to conserve. Conserve should be the probably number one issue that we can do right now to help. And lawns are. I hear that lawns are like our number one agricultural product in the United States. That's how much we spend more on lawns than we do other foods. And so I think that's a little bit of a problem. We could have better landscaping, especially in the summertime. More native plants. So I think we should probably push that, and that's a social issue we could push. I also think that we need to worry about storm surges and about how to reinvigorate our wells with more water when it's in the winter when we have it.
Thank you for that. Beginning with Bruce, the final question is, do you support diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in local government?
Yeah. I mean, we have a strong sense of that in Thurston County. We've had that for decades and decades. At least a couple decades strong on having that. And I've seen the changes, and we've seen big improvements as far as that's concerned. And I think that water, or the PUD, is no different. I think as far as it concerns the PUD, it affects us the same way it affects any small nonprofit or government agency in terms of hiring or sensitivities, and it also, but I think one of the biggest things is making sure that our customers have a voice in how our organization is run, and that we are also concerned about the rates for people who don't have as much.
Thank you for that. Same question to you, Jim.
Yes, I am absolutely a supporter. Having been born and raised in Olympia, I've seen a lot of changes for the better. I welcome all the communities that have moved here. I've actually helped put water systems in for a lot of the new communities, so I'm very supportive of that. I hope that more people get into the water industry, more diverse people. It is a lot of construction type work, but we've always been very supportive at the PUD of inclusion and trying to make sure we reflect the community that we serve, and I fully support it. So,
great, thank you. Thank you both for answering these questions. I am now going to give you each a minute for a closing statement, beginning with Bruce.
Okay, well, I appreciate being here, and it's been a pleasure. I believe that what sets me apart is more my focus on what I can do to help people that are outside of being customers of the PUD, which is like over 90% of the people who are voting. And I think that I can. You know, I want to be there at the Utility and Transportation Commission meetings around rates for, you know, Puget Sound Energy, which is completely foreign-owned. It's a private foreign-owned monopoly that sucks about $200 million out of our state and out of our country every single year. And I want to be someone who advocates against that. And I think that's part of what we can do. We have a 3-person commission, and I think that I can spend some of my time doing that. And the PUD, which is in great shape, can keep chugging along.
Thank you. And now your turn.
Thank you. I want to thank the League of Women Voters and the citizens of Thurston County. Having served as your District 1 Commissioner, I've dedicated myself to managing our infrastructure with the rigor it deserves. I was honored to receive the 2024 Washington State Department of Health Commitment to Excellence Award for my work promoting conservation, green energy, affordability, and dedicated infrastructure stewardship. I didn't come here for politics. I came here to ensure we finish the vital projects we have underway. I have the ground level experience, technical training, and the proven commitment to this PUD, from local pump houses to lobbying in Olympia and Washington, D.C. I'm asking for your vote to retain my seat so we can keep our utility in the most experienced hands possible and continue leading this PUD into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Troy Kirby was unable to be here today, but he sent in the following statement. I'm Troy Kirby, running for Thurston PUD Commissioner District 1. I'm not able to be here today. I've organized a weekend fundraiser for the Purple Heart Memorial Monument of Lacey, honoring those who served. My campaign is built on one principle. The PUD's own records show severely underfunded infrastructure, rising rates, and decisions made with almost no public input. Ratepayers deserve a commissioner who reads the documents, asks hard questions, and answers to them, not the other way around. Learn more at Kirby4PUD.org. Thank you to all 3 candidates so much for participating in our forum today. The League strongly believes that candidates have the responsibility to make themselves available to their voters. So thank you, Bruce, Troy, and Jim, for making time to support democracy today. We thank our partner TC Media for producing and airing it. We are indebted to TC Media for years of making these forums happen and educating the voters. TC Media is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making media production accessible to all. They are committed to providing our community with access to professional media production, education, and content creation resources. Your support helps provide studio space, equipment, and education for creators in our community. To donate to TC Media's work or to become a member, visit www.tcmedia.org. The League of Women Voters of Thurston County is a nonprofit, nonpartisan civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. To learn more about our work, support us with a donation, or to become a member, please visit our website at www.lwvthurston.org. We encourage our viewers to be a voter in the upcoming election on August 4th. Every vote counts. Ballots for military personnel were mailed on June 18th, and all other ballots will be mailed out around July 15th, and you may register to vote up to and on Election Day. Thank you for watching this 2026 Primary Candidate Forum.
with you. If you want to give us your name and spell it, please.
Carly Cross, Carlikross.
And continue over.
Jim Pearson, Jimpierson.
Dan Griffey, DanGriffey.
Shayna Garbrick, Shaena, Garbrick, Garb as in boy, Erich.
Okay, I need to give them my direction, so it'll be about a minute or two per here.
That's Carly?
Carly.
Carly, thank you.
Okay, did Martha give you guys directions on the cameras and stuff like that?
They're there.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
5, 4.
Hello. Thank you for tuning in to this 2026 Primary Election Candidate Forum for Legislative District 35. This forum is presented by the League of Women Voters of Thurston County in collaboration with Thurston Community Media. The League of Women Voters is proud to be nonpartisan, neither supporting nor opposing candidates or parties at any level of government, but always working on vital issues of concern to members and the public to defend our democracy and empower voters. I'm Carly Cross with the League, and I will be moderating this forum. Kara Walk is our timer. At this time, please silence all personal devices. We are filming live, so any disruption will be caught on audio. We also ask that the audience hold their applause until the end of the program, and you are not permitted to speak during the program. The Washington State Legislature is the state's lawmaking body, where elected senators and representatives come together to create and pass laws that shape the daily lives of Washingtonians. The House consists of 98 elected officials who serve 2-year terms. Every legislative district in Washington has 2 representatives who live in and represent the district. Voters elect the 98 representatives in every even-numbered year's election. Representatives serve on several committees that meet frequently during the legislative section to discuss proposed laws and to hear input from the public. We are thrilled to host all 3 candidates running for Legislative District 35. They are Jim Pearson, Dan Griffey, and Shayna Garbrick. We stress the importance of civility in our forums. Candidates, you have each received the ground rules for the forum and have agreed to abide by them with your participation today. Questions are asked by last name in reverse alphabetical order. Beginning with Jim Pearson, the first question is, what personal and professional experiences are you bringing to the legislature?
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I served 7 years in the Army Special Forces, mainly in the Arctic Circle. I learned a lot about leadership there. And then the last 30 years I've been here in Washington State as a product manager working at companies like Microsoft and GoDaddy. My specialty was performance engineering, which is mainly about getting more out of less, and trying to look at projects and making them better projects. And I think government projects are very similar to those that I've looked at. I've managed across hundreds of projects and thousands of engineers. I look forward to doing more of that type of work at a government level. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan Griffey.
Well, thank you so much. I'm Dan Griffey. I currently serve as your state representative, so I think that's a part of the answer to this question. But my background was professional firefighter. I did 30 years as a professional firefighter, 4 years as a volunteer. I grew up in the giant metropolitan town of Allen, Washington. If you blink, you might miss it, but I love it to death. I spent my entire 55 years in this great community. I do believe my service as a professional firefighter, I was able to observe my constituents at their weakest moments when they really needed government services, and I do believe that gives me an edge on understanding really what needs to be done, what people have asked be done. And I brought those, all of those lessons to Olympian, and I will continue to use them with your vote.
Thank you. Shana Garbrick.
I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who's attended and everybody who is here and who wants tuning in right now to see what we have to talk about. I really appreciate that. And every campaign has a story, but mine is more than politics. It's about resilience, recovery, service, and a deep commitment to the people of the 35th District. I've experienced many of the same challenges that families in our communities face. Those experiences shaped who I am and fuel my passions to fight for affordable housing, behavioral health, public safety, good paying jobs, and the opportunities for every Washingtonian. I hope you'll take a few minutes and, and join me on my journey. If my story resonates with you, I'd be honored to earn your support in the 35th Legislative District. Together, we can build a stronger Washington, one everyone has the opportunity to succeed in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question, beginning with Dan Griffey. In 2022, the League of Women Voters of Washington completed a study about the rapid decline in local news providers. Would you propose any legislative solutions to ensure people have access to responsible local news? Please explain.
Well, absolutely. So a free and working press is absolute determinative to the outcome of great republics. We have to know what is going on in our society. We have some ideas. I do believe the smaller broadcasters must have some business and occupation tax relief or tax incentives to be able to provide those services. And we also need to encourage in all of our four-year public institutions journalism and those activities that would bring those new to the workforce into those professions. Understanding that an independent assessment, an independent review, and an independent distribution of knowledge is absolutely key to this great republic. But yes, it's been kicked around in Olympia. We need to help our local news providers so we can have free, fair, and independent news reporting.
Thank you. Shana Garbrick.
Can you ask the question one more time, please?
Of course. In 2022, the League of Women Voters of Washington completed a study about the rapid decline in local news providers. Would you propose any legislative solutions to ensure that people have access to responsible local news? And please explain.
That's a great question. And yes, I believe that being informed is the best way to move our district, our country, is to be informed and to be able to have all of communications for television communications at the fingertips. And so I would like to support that at the level in legislation as to make sure education is something that is viable for everybody. And so if that was the passion that somebody wanted to go and navigate, then that was available to said people that wanted to get involved in that career. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jim Pearson.
Yeah, I think LD 35 is very rural, and a lot of us spend time traveling across it, driving, and so we're probably listening to the radio, and AM radio as well as FM. I'd like to see more clear delineation between what is editorial and what is actual news. So I think those need to be separated out a little bit. I do believe in public broadcasting. I listen to NPR quite a bit. And as far as local news, I'd just like to see more of it being on the radio, but also in our local newspapers. I think, I don't know, I don't have a great answer for that right at the moment.
Well, thank you. Our next question will start with Shana Garbrick. The Washington legislature passed a bill known as the millionaire's tax, which will generate revenue by only taxing the portion of a person's income that exceeds $1 million. Do you support the effort to repeal this law?
That is a great question, and that is a question that everybody is trying to answer right now, right? To be for, to be against that. I am for that, but I'll just leave that at that and let everybody see what goes on in the legislation session to speak more on that topic. But thank you.
Thank you. Jim Pearson.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. The Washington legislature passed a bill known as the millionaire's tax, which will generate revenue by only taxing the portion of a person's income that exceeds $1 million. Do you support the effort to repeal this law?
I don't support that, but I do think that a lot of people are worried about what they call the slippery slope, where today they are taxing somebody over $1 million a year, tomorrow it'll be $100,000 or something else. I think that needs to be more clearly written into the law so that people know exactly what's being taxed, what the intent is. I do also worry that we're not addressing the actual problem. A lot of the really rich people don't take a salary, so we're not taxing them on a salary. They're taking money from taking loans against their stock or others, and that's not considered a salary, so we're not actually taxing them on them. Some of the really rich people here don't pay their fair share of taxes, and we need to figure out other ways to tax them, make them pay their fair share. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan Griffey.
Absolutely. I'm supporting the repeal. I helped craft the argument that was 24 and a half hours on the House floor against it. It is absolutely going to be negative on the middle class. Chasing capital out of Washington State is not going to help the middle class. It's only going to hurt the middle class, and we've seen it at an alarming rate already. Washington State's numbers are showing that our tax generation is considerably lower. The tax and capital flight is happening. The majority continues to prop up a narrative that isn't happening. It is happening. Those with the portability of wealth take their goods, services, and gold and play elsewhere. I would like them to stay here in Washington State and help Washingtonians build a greater society. No society became great by taxing and regulating the citizens into that greatness. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll return to Jim Pearson for the next question. The Timberland Library Board of Trustees is a group of volunteers who serve 7-year terms by state law. Does this seem reasonable to you? If not, what do you plan to do to change this law?
Well, I know the library has gone through a lot of problems lately, especially, they've been laying off people over certainly the last couple months due to budget deficits. Some of that considered to be mismanagement, but there's also cost of inflation going up, and the revenue is not going up necessarily with it. I did actually look into how much are the individual trustees making and the executives at the library. It seems like they're getting paid quite a bit more than just about anybody else in the library, of course, but they're getting paid a lot more than I would have thought they might have gotten paid. I've met quite a few people at the lower ranks who seem very qualified, and so I would question how much they're getting paid. That said, I know that they haven't been hiring a whole lot of new people over the years. That hasn't changed, but they need to figure out how to use the money better. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan Griffey.
Yeah, 7-year term seems to be extremely long. I would be more in favor of 4-year terms so you'd have a natural turnover. And I think a natural turnover gets new blood, refreshed ideas. Also, it makes the individual, like I have to every 2 years, go back, state my case, and see if I can get more people, people that would vote for me again. 7 years seems like a little long. And I believe that 7 years is because public service is a waning thing. Individuals find that their lives are so busy that participation on volunteer boards or even paid boards is getting harder and harder to do, because they really got to work hard to bring in the money and resources so that their families can thrive. I think 7 years is a little long. It's working out for them now. I don't have any more opinions about it than that. Thank you.
Thank you. Shana Garbrick.
One more time with the question.
Yes. The Timberland Library Board of Trustees is a group of volunteers who serve 7-year terms by state law. Does this seem reasonable to you? If not, what do you plan to do to change this law?
That's a great question. I believe that 7 years is a perfect amount of time, because if you do it any less, then it doesn't give you time to go out and to meet constituents, to meet people, and to bring them in. I believe that it's a good time, an amount of time, but I also do believe that we need more people willing to volunteer, because working at the library is a big commitment. You are helping other people get educated in your community. And so on that note, my brain went blank. On that note, I would just say that there should be more community involvement with the public libraries. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, starting with Dan Griffey for the next question. This question is from David Triweiler on behalf of the End Mass Incarceration Project, Washington Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. According to the National Institute for Justice, increasing the severity of the punishment does not deter crime, and long-term sentences cost a substantial amount of taxpayer dollars. What are you doing or plan to do to lower Washington's historically high incarceration rates?
Well, first of all, I don't believe we have a mass incarceration problem any longer. We've released several thousand people from our prisons. So changing that narrative, I think we need to acknowledge that happened. I believe in a two-tiered system. There are people incarcerating an individual. It is true that incarceration doesn't always reform an individual, but incarceration certainly isolates the individual from the society that they injured. So I do believe incarceration absolutely has to play a part. I do believe some of our sentences have been increasingly reduced to the point in time I think it's detrimental to a safe society. But I do believe in that two-model system. I think we should have a exceptional tool upon entry into the system, that we stream people one way or the other way. One way being a way that would not look like traditional jail and prison, the other way that looks like traditional jail and prison. Thank you.
Thank you. Shana Garbrick.
That's a great question. As being a peer, I have other peers who are involved in the justice system and who go to the prisons to help peer individuals who have been incarcerated. And I believe that jail is a tool that needs to be used, but I also believe that incarceration needs to be used to educate people and to make them better people, better humans when they come out with a skill, with a talent, being prideful for their communities, going back into their communities and fixing the damage that they caused, and to be a shining star in their communities. I think if we do that, instead of just sit and punish people and let them sit in a facility where they are just around other people who are criminals as well, it makes for a bad recipe for people to come out into society. So I just believe in wrapping around the criminals that are in there that want help and give them those tools so that when they come out, they will be better citizens. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jim Pearson.
Yeah, I'm very much about root causes, and I think we need to look at the root causes of incarceration in the first place. Not everybody's a bad person. A lot of people are there because of either drugs, mental health, or lack of work, and where that led them to. I'd like to see starting earlier in people's lifetimes with more mental health care, counselors in schools, access to them. I'd like to see additional police capability in getting fentanyl and other hard drugs off the street. And I'd also like to see more transitional type work capability where more people are doing types of work like cleaning, or I'm talking about the roads and the streets, and fire prevention and fire suppression, things like that. Those are transitional type jobs they could be in.
Thank you. Our next question will begin with Shana Garbrick. Do you support diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in state government?
Absolutely, I do. There's no question about that. I believe that our country was founded on our forefathers who came from different countries and wanted to make our country without a king. And so that way we could all grow together. And so I believe very much in that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jim Pearson.
Yes, absolutely. Also, I believe that racism is still a thing. I think that we need to account for that. Also, we should be allowing people to live and marry who they want, but live how they want to live. And, we need to be more fair to everybody around us, letting them be the person they want, basically who they want to be. So I'm very much for it, yes.
Thank you.
As the state is currently rolling out diversity, equity, inclusion, I do not believe they're doing a very good job because it's not very inclusive. If somebody has a dissenting view, they're just railed into the ground and they're told that they're a racist and so many other things. I do believe we can be a more open, a more gentle, and a more secure society by being more inclusive. But unfortunately, by the way the state has adopted their policies, they're less inclusive to some and more inclusive to others. And I don't believe our great republic deserves such up and down seesaw responses. It is a poor response. We've spent billions of dollars on diversity, equity, inclusion, and we're not very inclusive to some and very inclusive to others. Thank you.
Thank you. You will each now have 1 minute for a closing statement, beginning with Jim Pearson.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again. And I want to mention that I have been door knocking. I think I'm at close to 2,000 right now. And I go to every single door. I talk to people from far left to far right, and I listen to what their concerns are. And, whether it's healthcare, the cost of healthcare, the accessibility to healthcare, the price of homes, road safety, all of those. I'm very much a listener, and I look for root causes, and I try to figure out what can we do to solve these type of problems. One of the things I really want to focus on is the middle tier of housing. How do we get houses that are in the $200,000 to $300,000 range rather than the $500,000 range? And I think there's a lot of root causes. If I had more time to that, I'd be able to explain about it. But that's an area I think we could do a whole lot more, looking for technical solutions rather than policy and regulation. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan Griffey.
Well, thank you so much once again to the League for hosting this forum. I would once again ask for your vote. Olympia is turning into a plurality of decisions. One party has been in a supermajority or near supermajority for far too long. There's not a lot of diversity of opinions any longer. If you don't agree with them, they just don't talk to you any longer, and they're not willing to work on it. I am. I'm willing to be your voice in Olympia. If you're against the income tax, I'm your man. If you want sexual assault survivors and domestic assault survivors to be treated with the respect and the resources devoted to those issues, if you think that they need more resources, I'm your man. Do not allow Olympia to become more plural, more one-way thinking. Any more votes for this majority in this Olympia will only make for more plurality and less community of talking.
Thank you. Shana Garbrick.
I just wanted to say thank you to the League for putting this on and inviting me. My name is Shana Garbrick, and I would love your support. My why is because in 2020 I lost my brother to the streets, and so I had a decision to make. I could either become that evil, or I could roll my sleeves up and get to work. And by getting to work, what I meant by that is going to legislation and changing how recovery works in our state. and I've dedicated the last 3 years to that. And so I have seen all of the in-between, people on the street, people doing well. And all I know is that when you support people in the right way, we can make a better community. We can make a better state. We can make a better 35th legislation. But we can only do that together. And so I'm asking for your vote and your support. My name is Shayna Garbrick, and I'm in the 35th Legislative District. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you to all three candidates for participating in our forum today. The League strongly believes that candidates have the responsibility to make themselves available to their voters. So thank you, Jim, Dan, and Shayna, for making time to support democracy today.
Thank you so much.
We thank our partner, TC Media, for producing and airing this forum. We are indebted to TC Media for years of making these forums happen and for educating the voters. TC Media is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making media production accessible to all. They are committed to providing our community with access to professional media production, education, and content creation resources. Your support helps provide studio space, equipment, and education for creators in our community. To donate to TC Media's work or to become a member, visit www.tcmedia.org. The League of Women Voters of Thurston County is a nonprofit, nonpartisan civic organization that encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. To learn more about our work, support us with a donation, or to become a member, please visit our website at www.lwvthurston.org. We encourage our viewers to be a voter in the upcoming election on August 4th. Every vote counts. Ballots for military personnel were mailed on June 18th, and all other ballots will be mailed out around July 15th. And you may register to vote up to and on Election Day. Thank you for watching this 2026 Primary Candidate Forum.